Hey, good evening, everyone out there in Chicago. Welcome to the Friday night edition of Chicago Corner. I am your host, Jerry Vasilatos, and I thank you all for joining us this evening. I want to say at the top of the show here, I have had some gremlins and bugs in my computer system that I've been working out literally since yesterday. And just when you think you have everything fixed, it starts misbehaving again. So I'm really hoping that we won't have any major tech issues tonight while I run the show. If I disappear, Ed's prepped to jump in and cover for me. But I just want to give a heads up in case I don't know if I have a buffering issue or something. So anyway, just wanted to give you guys that warning at the front of the show, what's going on here. But in the meantime, I would love to introduce my co-host for the evening, Mr. Kit Cabello.
Cheers and salutations, Jerry. I've been having a little bit of an issue too, not with tech, but I can't get the song "Fortunate Son" out of my head. I heard somebody playing, like, of course, hey, hot time summer in the city in Chicago, and I was getting some lunch because we just got done recording at the studio, and I heard Creedence Clearwater Revival, and someone was had their windows rolling down. They're playing "Fortunate Son," and it's now just stuck in my head. So after the show, I'll probably be playing it loud in my house just so I can get it out of my head.
Hot time city I've been thinking about for the past 3 days. Since Tuesday when I came to the studio, suddenly it went from cold weather on Monday to summer with no spring on Tuesday.
Hey, well, see, the thing is, old man Winter was just messing around too much, and he realized, oh, spring, hey, listen, sorry about that. I didn't mean to take away your job away from you. Here comes summer.
Yeah. Let me introduce our other guest host for the evening, Mr. Ed Heller. Please.
Wow.
God, my browser's so slow on this end. There you
go. It ain't me. I ain't no. Wait, what was that? What were you doing?
Yeah.
Funny, hi, everybody.
How you doing, man?
I'm pretty good for this wonderful, lucky Friday. I hope the rest of you are hanging in there.
All good. So, Jerry, is everything all good to do, or would you like Edward to at least pull things up?
You know, I'm opening my browser window. I've got the stories queued. Let's see if the video that I prepared to start off the show will hopefully run, because as our lead story goes, local state representative Cam Buckner announced he's running for mayor. So let's see if the video runs smoothly, please.
Let's go see.
Oh my God, everything is slow over here.
It's all good. Tech issues happen. And give it up for, again, our wonderful moderators, Lainey Peterson and Miguel H. By the way, folks, a lot of good stuff is happening here at the studio for 99 Perspective. So while we're waiting for Jerry to set things up, Edward, I believe you have access to show notes.
Yes, I have some show notes here. So I think the first story is going to be talking about State Rep Cam Buckner, who's just announced that he's going to be running for mayor, joining the clown car against Lori Lightfoot.
Okay.
And I know it looks like Jerry was trying to play a video, and it apparently the gremlins got to him. So I can pull up the story, or I can try to pull up the video that I had.
Let's for our viewing audience, if you can on your end, I would like for us, at least for them, to see the video. So let's get that set up.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's the same video that I had from earlier. So just bear with me for one.
That's perfectly fine. We will, as always, the show must go on. And look, folks, I just want to just give a huge shout out to Jerry, who's been doing phenomenal work for Chicago Corner Can TV. Tech issues do happen. So, hey, Jerry, what's up? So Edward is going to be pulling up show notes and pulling up the video. So we're going to assume that's the same video as well. So let's
I've got the video. I've got the video here from my desktop. So give me a second, because I had a special edit. Let me try this.
Okay, fine.
Just a second. Sorry, everybody. Like I said, I don't understand what this is. Come on.
All right. Well, while we're getting that set up before we get started with the first segment, again, thank you so much for subscribing to us here at Chicago Corner. We are live every Tuesday and Friday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So there is some great stuff in the horizon for 99 Perspective Studios. However, I have been given strict orders to be silent about them, but I can assure you, folks, once the final details are ironed out, this will be a pretty big move, not only for the studio known as 99 Perspectives, but for Hard Lens Media and our other wonderful YouTube channel, Chicago Corner, and to many extensions as well to World Perspectives Radio Chicago. So this is some pretty big news. And again, I want to give a huge shout out to my colleague, Daniel Lupker, as well as to our editor, FaZe, who have been very important in setting things up for the work that we do at the studio and for the channel. So, by the way, we just got the 2 video recordings for Can TV for Chicago Corner, episode 1 and 2, which will soon be available on Can TV. I'll be submitting them after this show. They'll be set up. And again, Jerry, phenomenal work with the editing and work. And on Monday, I'll be giving you access to the Can TV folder, so that way it'll be easier for you to upload stuff to my content or to my
if I don't throw my computer out the window before then.
I see. So there we go. All right. Well, then, while we're waiting for the video, let's go ahead and first address the article while that's being set up, so we can at least get the show going.
Bring that up, Ed.
Edward, can you bring the article up?
Please stand by.
All right.
I'm going to share that tab, which is right. Where is it? Here it is. Hey, it worked. Nice.
All right, gentlemen.
Coming to you from Block Club Chicago, Cam Buckner, a Southside state rep, is running for mayor.
All right, so let's go ahead and at least have that shared for our viewers and subscribers. So what is going on?
Serving a diverse district from the Gold Coast to the Southeast side has been incredibly telling, Buckner said. It's given me a very clear view into what happens when we have a tale of 2 cities. Story by Maxwell Evans. Here's Cam.
All right, so here I actually got the article here as well. So State Representative Cam Buckner is running for mayor, hoping to oust Mayor Lori Lightfoot from City Hall in 2023. Buckner, who is 37, announces candidacy Thursday in the South Loop after weeks of speculation. The Southside State Rep vowed to tackle the city's crime, schools, and economic recovery. So serving as a 26th state House district, which stretches from the Gold Coast, mind you, for those of you who don't know what the Gold Coast is, it's a pretty nice ritzy part of Chicago, and it's it's very cash money. That's getting down to the nitty gritty. It's over there on the wonderful Lakeshore Drive. So there we go. It's the most diverse district in the state from socioeconomic to a demographic standpoint, and has given Buckner unique insight into the city. He told Block Club on Wednesday, "The district looks a lot like Chicago," Buckner said. "Really? Have you not seen the city map, State Representative Buckner? The wards are a maddening jigsaw puzzle," which reminds me, Miguel H., you still have your homework assignment to make the jigsaw nightmare puzzle.
His homework was due today. I don't know if
his homework was due today. All right, I'm going to give him another extension. I'm a merciful teacher who's kind of always high and drunk along the way. So there we go.
Dude, you are so lucky that Kit gave you more time.
Being in that role has been incredibly telling to me. It's given me a very clear view into what happens when we have a tale of 2 cities. What happens when we have a robust investment in one hand and robust disinvestment or benign neglect on the other hand. Really? So, Buckner, all right, I'm glad you're acknowledging that there is a tale of not 1 or 2 cities, but a severely hyper-segregated city. And for those of you who don't know, Chicago, yes, there is the North and South Side, but within the North and South Side, there are varying districts, varying communities, each different than the last, and each dealing with its own economic and social issues that the city council and this current mayor have ignored, just like previous other city councils and previous mayoral administrations. So Buckner, who's a native South Sider who grew up in Washington Heights and Roseland, he now lives in Bronzeville with his partner and their infant child. He was a defensive lineman at the University of Illinois and worked for U.S. Senator Dick Durbin and New Orleans Mayor Mitch LaDrew after graduating. Buckner formerly served as executive director of World Sports Chicago, the nonprofit that stems from Chicago's failed bid, thank goodness,
for the 2016 Olympics.
For the 2016 Olympics, worked for the Cubs in community relations, and was on Chicago State University's board. He was appointed to the House in 2019 as his predecessor, Christian Mitchell, took the role of deputy governor. He won a full term in 2020 after running unopposed and serves as chair of the House Black Caucus. So Buckner touted his work as House co-sponsor for Climate and Equitable Jobs Act and his representation for more hospitals than anyone else in the state legislature, including University of Chicago Medical Center and Providence, Jackson Park, and Northwestern Memorial Hospitals. Buckner is running for mayor on what he calls a 4-star platform aiming to address public safety, public education, equitable economic development, and sustainable budgeting if elected. He called on Chicago police to adopt a community policing approach that prioritizes residents' needs rather than neighborhood policing based on geography. The people over places mentality would transfer to his governance over the economy and tourism efforts as well, Buckner said. We have to find a way to celebrate the places and spaces that we occupy, their diversity, their importance, their significance, but more importantly, the people who live there. To which I have to say, this is a nice word salad from any other politician. To which I have to say to any other lawmaker that's coming into the city of Chicago, what are you going to do about the lead in our drinking water? What are you going to do about the mental health facilities that were shut down by Mayor Rahm Emanuel? What are you going to do about the fact that, again, 54 Chicago public schools were shut down? Are you going to stand against the gentrifying groups that want to, again, buy up more real estate and start kicking people out? Again, there's a huge displacement issue that's happening in Chicago that Mayor Lightfoot has allowed to continue on, much like her predecessor, Mayor Rahm Emanuel, or former Mayor Rahm Emanuel.
As far as opening words go, they're not bad, but like you said, the proof is going to be in the pudding when we start to hear the debates. So if he gets into the debates, these are going to be questions we're going to want to know. And of course, if you guys have watched Chicago Corner, you know that we're going to be covering every candidate who's running for the Chicago mayoral race. And if they want to come on this show, contact Jerry at chicagocorner.tv. And we'll try and schedule some time to get you on. Jerry
Absolutely.
will be happy to talk to you after he solves his computer gremlin issue.
Mm-hmm. Or either that after we, or you could be on CAN TV as well. So by the way, so here's the thing. What I do find interesting is that Buckner did criticize Lightfoot's governing style prior to announcing his candidacy, such as her personality limits her ability to address Chicago's violent crime. The verdict is out on Lightfoot's investment Southwest Community Development Initiative. He told Block Club he vowed to analyze it and other economic programs, but he also has addressed that he would like to negotiate with the Chicago Teachers Union, to which I have to say, in regards to the Chicago Teachers Union, Buckner, are you once again going to antagonize the teachers who've been screwed over for such a long time in this city? Now, look, there's a big difference between leadership and membership, and it's quite clear that the membership has been screwed over by leadership, and the teachers and students and faculty demand the respect that's rightfully due to them after dealing with so much, especially from this mayor that has been very abusive towards Chicago public schools. Jerry, like to add in your commentary.
I have no commentary right now because I'm still. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
My screen is frozen and I can't see what's going on that end.
Okay. Well, we're currently looking at the Block Club Chicago article. I can play the video that I've got that I had from earlier, so we can hear Cam in his own words, if you like.
Now, look, there is. Now, here's the thing. Before we start thinking that Buckner is probably better, before we play the video, before we start thinking that Buckner is probably better than the other two mayoral candidates and Lightfoot herself, look, he's twice pled guilty to driving under the influence, which I have to say, I am against drunk driving. Okay,
when Representative
don't drink and drive.
Stepped up to the podium today. He said, "Happy birthday to me," and of course, it is his birthday today as he announces his mayoral candidacy. He steps into the ring among Alderman Ray Lopez and businessman Willie Wilson. He says he has seen a poisonous pattern of division in this city. A mayor's job shouldn't be to fight just for the sake of fighting. Before today's announcement, we sat down to talk to him about his vision.
Any small business, I think she's done good for.
At the corner of 18th and South Wabash, you'll find Teapot Brew Bakery. For the last 4 years, they've been inside this small garage, making all of their baked goodies from scratch.
I think Lori's doing an amazing job, actually.
Today, State Representative Cam Buckner asked if he could announce his mayoral candidacy from the back patio.
So many people want to jump into the race. You gotta meet them as they get in. They're gonna have debates, and then I'll learn more about him. But right now, I don't know who he is or nothing about him.
Buckner has been serving in the 26th House District. It runs from the Gold Coast all the way to the southeast side. But some question whether he's as connected to the community he represents as he says he is. When he sponsored state legislation to outlaw ghost guns, for example, community activists said they didn't think he went hard enough on criminals, and they didn't feel included in the conversation.
Make sure that the communities, the low-income communities are okay. Taxes are not too high. They're for the people, not just for their own political gain.
Buckner says if he's elected mayor, he'll focus on crime and, of course, education. He comes from a family of teachers and principals.
I think it is premature to make a decision on who the police superintendent is.
He says he's not worried about finding a replacement for Superintendent David Brown because there's a lot of talent already within the ranks of CPD. He works with commanders regularly. His House district includes 5 police districts.
What I'm hearing is people don't feel safe. They don't know what's happening with our education system. They want some understanding of what's going to happen with our business corridors and our economy. And they want a way forward. They are tired of us fighting with each other, and they want us to find a way to fight for Chicago and move forward.
With the department down 1,600 officers and more retirements on the way, he says he wants more resources poured into the communities to prevent crime, including mental health support. He's been critical of how the current mayor does business. Today, he was hesitant to criticize her personality, only saying Chicago's leader should essentially play nice with others because the city has too much to lose.
That can't be the thing that carries the day. That can't be the reason that we don't get the solutions, right? In this work for the people, we can't take things personally.
He says when it comes to schools, he doesn't want a teacher contract to be a war. He says he's prepared to negotiate it from his kitchen table if he has to, not from podiums or in press releases, because parents are fed up.
We're sitting by a telephone at 10 o'clock at night trying to see whether or not their children had school, trying to figure out, how to log into a broadband system that was janky.
All right. Well, there we go. So
hang on. Let me see if I can get the rest of that.
That's fine. So here's the thing. Already Buckner sounds somewhat interesting in many ways, but the fact that he said he's hesitant now of trying to call out Lightfoot's actions and her personality, that's the most advantageous thing to attack her on. Now's not the time to play nice or nice politics with anybody. If you're dead serious about removing Mayor Lightfoot from office, you have to call out the fact that she clearly has some anger issues and does not like being criticized or being called out for her own hypocritical actions. So in many ways, if you are running for mayor, bring up the fact that Lightfoot has had these insane emotional outbursts, these insane antics where she's yelling at people, yelling at her staff, going after everyone and everything. Let's see if we can play the rest of the video if we can.
He says he's prepared to negotiate it from his kitchen
Can
table
you hear it?
if he has to,
Yeah.
from podiums or in press releases, because parents are fed up.
Sitting by the telephone at 10 o'clock at night trying to see whether or not their children had school, trying to figure out, how to log into a broadband system that was janky.
He also wants to make sure the Bears don't go anywhere.
Chicago Bears should always play football in Chicago.
Buckner has previously pleaded guilty to 2 DUIs, one in 2010 and one in 2019. That most recent DUI, he was found asleep in his car about 1 block from the state capitol in Springfield. He calls those past missteps, past mistakes, says he is a changed man, and he has taken accountability. Reporting in the South Loop tonight, Megan Dwyer, WGN News.
Thanks, Megan.
All right, no problem. So, look, he obviously had, like, before we started playing the video, he obviously was caught not once but twice drunk behind the wheel. That's a serious issue, and that's something that he needs to address. Now, look, addiction is one thing, and not taking accountability, but he has taken accountability for that. So okay, that's his motive, and also he wants to make sure the Chicago Bears stay here in the city of Chicago. Which, if you're a Bears fan, sports fan, football fan, fine, but I got my own opinion on the Chicago Bears, and let's face it, that'll be for another episode of Chicago Corner. But I want to remind everyone, people are saying, well, who's set to run in the race? Well, there's Alderman Raymond Lopez of the 15th Ward, and then you got, of course, businessman Willie Wilson, you got Lightfoot herself, and now we got State Representative Ken Buckner, who is running for mayor. So now that's 4 candidates so far in the race. Am I impressed with either one of these candidates? No, I'm waiting for the debates. I'm seeing who's going to strike first, who's going to be aggressive. Go after Lightfoot. Go after her governing policy. Go after how she has failed on all of her campaign promises. I'm tired of seeing politicians play this little nice back and forth game. And with the city, we need real leadership. This 2023 election cycle, we just can't have some boring election. We need people that are going to come in and bring in new ideas. So if Ken Buckner's dead serious about being mayor of Chicago, show me how aggressive you're going to be. Don't waste my time. Don't tell me you're going to do one thing and then, I don't know, stab the voters in the back, because Chicagoans have been dealing with this for ever since the city was founded. And we've had a lack of real mayors that will actually fight for us. Now, Harold Washington's one of the few, and since then, every single mayor after Harold Washington has been weak, incompetent, corrupt, more of the same. And to quote Eleanor right here in the live stream chat, Chicago is turning into a billionaire's playground. And the people are being screwed over. So, Ken Buckner, are you ready for this? Are you really going to fight for the people of Chicago? There's lead in our water. Our schools are being shut down. So don't tell me that you care about the issues. I want to know what you're going to do about it. What are you going to do to prevent neighborhoods from being gentrified? What are you going to do about these industrial facilities that are polluting communities on the south and west side neighborhoods of Chicago? So when you come onto Chicago Corner, when you're interviewed by us, that goes for every single mayoral candidate that's running. Don't waste our time with platitudes or words that we want to hear. The last mayoral election in 2019 was the lowest voter turnout in Chicago's history. Lightfoot is lucky she even maintained the majority that she got in 2019 against Prettwinkle, but she was lucky she was going up against such an incompetent candidate like Tony Prettwinkle. So good luck with these candidates. Yeah. Show us what you will do.
Yeah, don't just, words are cheap. We all thought Lightfoot was going to be progressive. We thought she was going to be open to transparency. We thought we were going to get something out of Lightfoot, that wasn't just somebody who wanted to give us soda taxes or whatever, And so then she gets into office and, you guys all know what happened.
Yes, the rest
she's basically running like Rahm's third term. That's not what we voted for.
No, and I am not going to waste my time or our viewers' time with, again, candidates that are just going to give us more of the same, which we've gone through enough of that already, and it's time for us to end it, especially you, Rahm. So bye-bye. But by the way, it's not over yet, because I want to bring up these potential candidates that will be running or have floated the idea of entering the mayoral race. You have Alderman Roderick Sawyer of the 6th Ward. You have Alderman Brian Hopkins of the 2nd Ward. You got State Representative LaShawn Ford, former CPS CEO Paul Vallis, Chicago Teachers Union Vice President Stacey Davis Gates, former Chicago Building Commissioner Judy Fryland. You got the Fraternal Order of the Police President John Catanzara, and you got, of course, Cook County Commissioner Brandon Johnson, who will also be running as well. So these are the other potential people who have floated the idea. As it stands right now, there are 4 mayoral candidates. Neither one of them are progressives or progressive enough in my mind. So we'll see how they all stand out with the mayoral debates. With that being said, we should move on now to our next story of the day, and that is I'm going to have a hard time even talking about this one. And, of course, I want to give a huge shout out to Jamal Green, who even brought this up as well on social media.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you just fine.
Yeah, Jerry.
But you can't see me.
We can
I can see you. I can see you fine. I can hear you and see you.
Okay. All right. So we're going to have Edward run the board as far as bringing up the stories. I think
That's
the bug
fine.
is in my Chrome browser because I've sorted everything else out. When I open up Chrome, which is the only thing you can run StreamYard on, this is when this stuff is starting to happen. So go ahead, Kit.
We got you covered, Jerry.
Left off.
Yeah, I got you, man. Look, if you got to fix your computer, we got you, man. It's all good. All right, so unfortunately, there were 2 mass shootings. At least 21 people were shot, and it's very disheartening. This happened on Tuesday. Tuesday saw sunny, warm weather return to Chicago, and with it came something we're all too familiar with, a surge in shootings that left 2 people dead and 19 wounded. No one was in custody in the 2 mass shootings that occurred in the back of the yards in Woodland. Superintendent David Brown said during a Wednesday morning news conference where he detailed the violence. Brown and other officials said that the city is working on solutions that could prevent violence. Oh, I don't know, maybe invest in our communities, invest into community centers.
Once again, it's we need less reactive and more proactive solutions.
The first mass shootings happened at 4:30 p.m. in the 4800 block of South Ada Street and back of the yards. A group of people in a stolen red Mazda, saw rivals, and 2 groups fired shots at each other, police said. A 19-year-old man was shot in his head and the left side of his body and was pronounced dead. 4 other victims, 2 16-year-old boys and 2 18-year-old men, were wounded, with 1 in critical condition, while the others had non-life-threatening wounds, Brown said. Police chased the gunman in the red Mazda, and the driver crashed. Brown said no one was in custody. Investigators found 2 rifles as well as casings for other types of guns. A large crowd of people gathered at the scene of the shooting, and some people in the crowd battered police officers. 2 men have been charged in connection to that. Unfortunately, though, the level of violence that we've expected last night is beyond what's even reasonable. There's no reason for it. Craig Chico, president of the Back of the Yards Neighborhood Council, said at the news conference, it's unacceptable. To see what we saw last night is extremely disheartening and emotional. The Back of the Yards shooting was part of a weeks-long gang conflict that has seen multiple shootings, including at least 1 that killed a man, Brown said. Later Tuesday night, there was a mass shooting at Jackson Park. At like 10:30 p.m., at the 6400 block of South Richards Drive, a woman from Indiana was live streaming a rap video in the park where another group of people began a separate live stream, Brown said. The 2 groups got into an argument which led them shooting at each other. He said he wasn't sure what the argument was about. 4 women ages 22 to 30 were wounded, and 2 men, 21 and 29, were wounded. The 6 were all in critical condition but had stabilized and had non-life-threatening wounds. All right, look. Where's the mayor? Where's the city council? This is getting out of hand already.
Yeah.
And
what are they doing to improve these people's regular lives, that they're not so desperate that they need to resort to these types of violent reactions, or is this one of those things where one person in one gang is shooting a video because sometimes that's how they get rich and famous, and then they just happen to be doing it on another gang's turf? We don't know what the deal is here, but it comes down to people becoming part of gangs because they don't have support anywhere else.
Yeah. And of course, when you shut down the public schools, when you decide to constantly use the police force where everything is a nail and you have the hammer, there is no solution. Now, look, I know Chicago has its problems, but I do know this city is filled with good people. The thing is, we have elected officials that don't care at all, that don't care about the issues at hand, that don't care about the people that are suffering day in, day out. I am enraged at the fact that this mayor offers no solution. But yet, of course, thanks to Biden and this administration that said if you had anything left over, I believe we'll probably bring that up later with the COVID relief money. But, you know, Biden is urging the city to spend COVID relief money on police and crime prevention, which, Lightfoot, you do that already. It's not enough.
The minute I noticed that the president was telling every other city to do that, I said, Lori is way ahead of the curve on that one.
Yes. And
and it's like, and then the city says, and well, we got another story we can go into from here. So let me do that. Let me stop sharing.
Yeah, let's actually get into that other story here about the city council.
Let's go to the next thing, which is, where is that? Okay, let's go to, where is it?
And again, thank you all so much
for
joining us.
Okay.
Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that ring bell notification so you know when Chicago Corner goes live. We're live every Tuesday and Friday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And also, if you haven't already, get yourself a nice, refreshing, tasty mug from our merch store. So you have the Chicago Reacts mugs. There you go, folks. So there you go. All right, let's bring up another story, which is just as disheartening, which is just as sad. But the City Council Committee votes down Water for All ordinance to halt water shutoffs, expanding billing relief. So
this comes from CBS News Chicago.
Thank you. Aldermen on Tuesday voted down a proposal to make permanent the city's ban on water shutoffs while expanding utility billing relief programs after Lightfoot administration expressed concerns with the cost of the program and claimed deadlines set by the ordinance would be impossible to meet. The City Council Environmental Protection Committee voted 5-8 on the so-called Water for All ordinance sponsored by Alderman Daniel Laspada of the First Ward, who was forced to use a rare parliamentary maneuver to schedule a vote on his proposal after it had been allowed to languish in the committee for more than a year.
Which is what they do in city council. It's like if they don't like what you have, they try to get it tabled to a committee, and then they hope that it doesn't get brought up again. But it's a delay tactic.
It goes to the committee and is never again addressed ever. It will die in the realm of bureaucracy.
Yeah, usually it's something like the Rules Committee or something.
Mm-hmm. Meantime, Mayor Lightfoot has put forth her own ordinance to achieve many of the same goals, but her proposal was shuttled to the Council Rules Committee last month and must be reassigned to another committee before it can get a vote. The Spada's proposal seeks to expand utility billing relief programs that offer assistance to low-income families that struggle to pay city water bills. The ordinance also would make permanent a ban on shutting off Chicago residents' water service due to non-payment of bills and would prohibit the city from privatizing its water system. So,
in other words, it's a good bill, which is why they're trying not to pass it.
By the way, I also want to remind people, when it comes down to our clean drinking water, there is lead in it. There's also the fact that people have been struggling since 2020 to make sure that they can still get on by, especially in this dog-eat-dog world where it's almost impossible to survive at this point. And people do need economic relief. They need social relief. And the city is more than happy to shut off water. So when you shut off water to somebody's home, they don't have access to clean drinking water. They don't have access to wash their food, to bathe themselves, hygiene, all that good stuff. And this city is perfectly fine to doing that to low-income communities. So I also want to acknowledge someone here in the live stream chat. We got Illinois who says, due to pollution in my city, we had to shut water down to a section of the city, and we live in a desert. Our local government sold out a long time ago. Now, Chicago is next to the wonderful resource known as Lake Michigan, and yet the city is going to be more than happy to shut it down. If you're low income and you can't pay your bills, they're going to shut off your water. So this is again our wonderful city council. So while no alderman spoke out against Laspada's orders before Tuesday's vote, several members of the Lightfoot administration raised concerns about how to pay for some of the measures within the ordinance, as well as the city's ability to meet various deadlines it would set. Water Commissioner Andrea Chegg said the department agrees with Laspada's goal of making water more affordable for low-income residents, but said the city simply can't meet any of the deadlines the ordinance would set for implementing various billing changes, calling some of the ordinance stated goals physically impossible. But yet we have
that's a lie. This is just garbage excuses now, telling everybody that they don't know where to find the money. They found the money from the COVID relief bill to pay overtime for police. They can't find money out of that, which apparently there's still a surplus in a number of states, according to the president, to pay for things that people actually needed, like bill relief on their utilities. I call BS.
Oh, I definitely call BS on it too. So while Laspada's ordinance being voted down on Tuesday, it's unclear if or when Lightfoot's own proposal will come up for a vote. So this is classic Mayor Lori Lightfoot, like how she click copied and paste, of course, Willie Wilson's proposal. She's going to try and click copy paste Alderman Laspada's proposal as well. But what both things have in common? It's going to go nowhere because this is Mayor Lori Lightfoot we're talking about. While the mayor's office would seek to permanently halt water shutoffs for non-payment and prohibit privatization of the city's water system, unlike Laspada's, it would not expand the city's utility billing relief program. Rather, the mayor's ordinance would focus on speeding up installation of water meters in non-metered properties to halt the practice of basing those water bills on estimate usage. Over 4 years, the CBS2 investigators have profiled dozens of Chicagoans who were billed thousands of dollars for water they either couldn't or didn't use, or were billed using a guess of use that was way off. One way to cut down on guesstimates is adding meters, apparently. So there we go. All right, Edward, your thoughts?
We can turn that one off. Well, my first thought was, and which I already mentioned, was that the city has money. Chicago's not broke, and we always
Chicago's
like
to
push that book by Tom Tresser. I believe you can find it at tresser.com, TRESSER.com. Chicago isn't broke. They got a huge slush fund from all the TIF districts that existed. It's the mayor and the aldermen and the muckety mucks that want to use that money for who knows what, but not necessarily for what some of those TIF districts were intended to use that money for, or the funds that are available just in general, either from the city's current budget or from the additional funds that we got from COVID relief. The city can do a lot. They're choosing not to. We don't know why. So one step in figuring out why is to replace the mayor that's not going to tell us why. But the other steps are to see if any of those city council people need to be replaced as well. So, when elections roll around, we got the 2023 mayoral election. Are any aldermen running for seats around then, Kit?
Yes, of course. During the 2023 election cycle, just like in 2019, there were aldermanic seats that were up for election. Some aldermen ran unopposed, but some incumbents were voted out too.
So we're going to have to analyze that too. Let's take a look at the records of the aldermen that are currently there, see how they voted, see what they supported, see what types of legislation they tried to get passed, see what they did get passed. And if any of them are running for re-election and they don't deserve to be, if you're in Chicago, maybe you should try to run and replace them, especially if they're in your ward. It's not quite as hard as running for, say, a federal Congress position. Local government sometimes a little easier to run. It's not impossible to try and run as an independent for a local seat, and see if you can help make a difference at a local level.
Agreed. All right, let's move on now to our next story of the day. Miguel H., this one's for you, buddy, because this shows certain ward, that 36th ward in Chicago, maddening district.
Oh, yes, let's share that one.
I have no idea what they were thinking, what they were on. Miguel H.,
we mentioned this a little bit on Tuesday on Kira's show when we first announced the map, which I don't have the link handy to me, but if you guys check out Tuesday's show and look in the show notes, you can get the link to the interactive map that shows you the latest
ward, Miguel.
Yeah, the latest proposed Chicago wards. They still have to finalize the voting on that, I believe, in City Council. But yeah, this is 36th Ward, and as you can see, it's pretty much just Grand Avenue.
What it is, here it is. You're gonna have to, so Miguel, you're gonna have to use precise measurement when using that buzzsaw. You know, when you get that piece of wood, it's got to be on point. It'll be the greatest challenge of the puzzle. When people look at it, be like, what is this? Where does it go? Where is this? Where does it go? So, yes, that is the 36th Ward. But boy, oh boy, 36th Ward sure does love its Grand Avenue. Why does it look like that? Why does it look like this? Eleanor says, this is how rich people F over poor people. Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah, what is that? It looks like a water slide, kind of.
Geez, all right, hold on. This is like a Rorschach test, you know. You're trying to figure out what the shapes are.
Yeah, what do you see, Kit? What do you see when I show you this picture?
What I see is pain and suffering. I'm seeing people scream out, asking why. Why is this?
Kind of looks like that pod racer from was it Attack of the Clones? No, what's that other Star Wars?
Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace.
Oh, it does. Yeah. Or what it looks like a guy, because here's the thing, like a top part was it looks like a dude with a square nose, but he has a very skinny arm and a cartoonish big fist, and he's slamming something down hard. So it could look like he's trying to squash a bug or something. You know?
Let's see. Miguel H. Stairs leading to. Oh, was he think it's a stairway to heaven?
Could be a stairway.
Or stairway to somewhere.
Yeah. You actually know it looks like a stairway, and when you get to the top of the staircase, it looks like it's like a doorknob, or you're knocking on a door, but it was a ridiculously large doorknob though.
Like one of them escalators in a mall. Remember malls? They still have malls? Shopping malls?
Malls are a thing in the past, my friend.
Live chat, do you still have shopping malls where you are?
No, malls are done. Malls are gone. They've been replaced by either, Walmart, Costco, or the great Amazon.
Yeah, they're now like Amazon warehouses probably.
Yeah. So there
Miguel
we go.
H, what's a mall?
Yeah. What's a mall? Well, a mall used to be the Amazon of its day, and you would actually walk in there.
All right.
So there we go.
Kathy Powers says that this ward is between two wards that are against Lincoln Yards.
Right.
So it sounds like definitely somebody is trying to screw somebody over in City Council.
Yeah, and Kathy Powers says, "Come on, it's Lori's wang bone." So there we go. All right. I think we had some fun here, but look at that nightmare. Okay, let's move on now to our next story.
All right.
The next story of the day. Let's find out what
next story is. Oh, well, we mentioned it earlier.
We mentioned it earlier, but let's go and talk about it.
Let's bring it up.
Joe, 330. First pull up the tweet, and then we'll talk about...
Oh, you want to see the tweet? Okay.
Yeah, let's just talk about a little tweet.
Let's pull up that tweet. Please stand by while I try to share my screen.
All good.
Here's the tweet. President Biden will urge states and cities to use unspent money from last year's $1.9 trillion COVID relief package to fund crime prevention programs and hire police officers. Sound familiar, Chicago?
Oh, well, sounds like what Lightfoot would do. So I want to read this article. We can you can pull it up soon, but let's just keep it on the tweet right now. So whatever. President Joe Biden on Friday urged states and cities to use the unspent money from last year's $1.9 trillion COVID relief package to fund crime prevention programs and hire more police officers. Something that Lightfoot's doing already. The president stressed the need for more funding for public safety programs at the White House event with mayors and law enforcement officials. To every governor, to every mayor, to every county official, the need is clear. My message is clear. Spend the money now. Use the funds we made available to you. Prioritize public safety. Do it quickly before the summer, when crime rates typically surge. Well, how about investing into our communities? How about a UBI? What about social programs? What about community programs to get young people off the streets? What about funding our public schools? Why not use that? That's a preventative measure. But more of the same. A number of major cities have reported surges in crime since the start of the coronavirus pandemic. The White House said it's pushing local governments to spend the money before the summer months, where there has been historically been more violent crime compared to winter months. At least $10 billion from the American Rescue Plan, which Congress passed in March of 2021, has already been committed to public safety programs, including domestic violence prevention efforts, drug abuse and mental health services, and bonuses for hiring and retaining police officers, the White House said. About $6.5 billion was allocated in 2021 by 300 localities and more than half of the states, including $2 billion for crime prevention programs to ease the burden on police and $1 billion for bonuses to help recruit and retain public safety workers, the White House said. We have plenty out there. The thing is that the governors had to loosen it up, make it available, Biden said at Friday's event. More money for cops. Good job, Joe. What about extra boy? I agree with it. What about hookers and blow? And Cassie Power says, hashtag police state. Illinois, no, homeless people don't need shelter. They need prison. We need more slave labor. That's what's going on. More money for police, more money for all these programs. But what about social programs? What about for the people?
Yeah, and once again, as Jerry always tells us, these are primarily reactive solutions. I mean, I wouldn't say entirely. Occasionally, police do try to make some type of social efforts in certain programs, but then we really should be doing that not through police. You know, if organizations wanted to work with police to where, you know, the police show up for things involving, you know, shootings, but most of the time it's social workers or people, you know, bringing mental health services, you know, community support, like I don't know, like food, like grocery stores in areas where they don't have them, you know, job programs. You know, why are we, and sure, I guess police is a jobs program in a way, but how many do we really need?
True. You know, Edward, I don't even know what to say anymore, you know. I'm not expecting much from this mayor. To the other mayors that are running, you got Raymond Lopez, you got Willie Wilson, and of course now you got Cam Buckner as well. What are you going to do? Are you going to do more of the same, funding more of the police state? Because there is a lack of accountability, not only in Chicago politics, but with Chicago police here as well. There is corruption, not only at the political level, but with the police as well. And I only can imagine the good that this money could be used. Take, for example, here's a good social program to invest in, investing into our water's infrastructure. making sure we get the lead pipes out of our communities, maybe ensuring that the people have safe, clean drinking water.
Yes.
No,
Also,
that's too much to do with the city.
and speaking of infrastructure, potholes.
Oh
We
yes, the
need
potholes are getting
we
worse and
need
worse.
we need to fill the potholes. We got to repair the roads. We got to check out those bridges and make sure that they're structurally sound. I know I drive under a number of those structures on my way to and from work these days, and I'm seeing all kinds of rust and deterioration. And I gotta wonder, how structurally sound are these things? Are they going to collapse on us one day?
They will.
People, you want people to have a thriving economy in your city and all this other stuff. Give them the support that they need in order to succeed there. Give them at least a fighting chance. You know, um, it doesn't mean a lottery for a handful of people for gas. It means cutting the price of gas for everybody. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean good roads in just your friends' parts of the city. It means good roads on the entire city. It means structurally sound infrastructure so people commuting from to and from work aren't worried about, having to replace a wheel or a tire or getting crushed by a collapsed bridge.
Yeah, I
I
know.
mean, these are just some examples. There are so many more, and it's just a matter of priorities. What is your priority if you're a member of city council? What is your priority if you are the mayor or if you're going to be running for mayor? Do you have a sense of urgency for the rest of the citizens who aren't as fortunate as you?
Yeah. And of course, when here's the thing, I think we will see a bridge collapse before the city does anything. They're going to wait for the bridge to collapse. They're going to wait for
I
the
mean,
bridge.
they're already. It's like we had a story. What was it? Several months ago, there was an overpass, an underpass over by uh, uh, DuSable Lakeshore Drive, or I mean, just Lakeshore Drive, which where like, was it stones or parts of the structure were collapsing or falling?
Yeah.
Do we have to wait for pieces of these bridges to start falling on cars and trucks for you to do something about them?
Mhm.
I
Well,
mean, what do we?
our our, our,
Okay,
our, our our city government's going to let that happen. There will be a disaster, and you know what? I think now I'm going to have to really think long and hard about how I commute even to the studio because I drive under some of those bridges.
I mean, and I had a rant a couple weeks ago about, the north south streets. It's like these are important streets for a lot of people. They're commuting back and forth to work. You've got, I mean, I'm not mentioning all of them, but I know a few, you know, Halstead, Ashland Avenue, Western Avenue, Sacramento, which I think is also Humboldt. A number of other north south streets further west. What was it? Pulaski and Central, and a number of those other streets. The further south you go, the worse the road conditions. There's no excuse for that.
No.
That should not happen. You should be. I mean, there is opportunity for the mayor and the city council to create a jobs program where they have people in city service vehicles. They could go up and down these roads. They could document the locations where the potholes or the road damage is. Then they can send that information back to the crew that would do the hot patches or repairs, and they could make sure that these roads are structurally sound and safe for everybody to travel on. It
Yeah.
shouldn't be it shouldn't be a cash cow for all the tire companies and auto repair shops, uh, just because the city can't be bothered to maintain its roads.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed.
So,
100%. Yeah,
with that said,
it's just really disappointing that we have a city council that's very open that will turn a blind eye to this. But of course, hey, we got money for the Chicago Police Department, and so much more. So
Yeah, it
there we
sounds
go.
like according to Kathy Powers, it sounds like it's gonna take Lori Lightfoot to have some infrastructure fall on her limbo for her to do anything about it.
Yep,
And
our
pretty
mayor
much,
is okay with that. Our mayor is okay.
Test.
We can hear you, Jerry.
I think that's
welcome
Jerry.
back.
Oh
Vasilatos.
my God! It only took 3 computer restarts to figure out what the F is going on. Hey, if anybody in the live chat is a Mac expert, can you email me, jerry@chicagocorner.tv? Because I'm going to have to take this laptop to a computer store.
Okay, wait. Let me write that down. What is it again? Jerry at
Chicago Corner TV.
At Chicago Corner dot TV.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, I'll email you after the show.
Oh wait. You know this Mac stuff?
I know a few things about the Macintosh computer.
I've been updating you in Slack as I've been freaking out over here, and I'll tell you all after the show. But I don't know what story you guys are on after I've been restarting.
Well, we got it under control for you here, Jerry. I think we were just talking about Biden asking the cities to spend COVID relief money on police, and we were talking about how that sounds really familiar because that's what Lori did.
I had a whole connect the dots with those stories in that the city's going to refuse citizens water relief, right? Then the aldermen are wasting more time dividing up the wards into maps that look like a guy peeing down into another neighborhood. Then we've got Biden coming to the city and saying, hey, use your excess COVID funds to increase your police budgets instead of maybe give it to citizens for water relief. That was the whole
any kind of financial relief.
Any kind of financial relief. That was the projection of those stories, which I'm really pissed off I wasn't able to guide, but I'm sure you guys handled it fine. That's why I had presented those stories in that order.
Yeah, so I think we were about ready to move on to the next one. I don't know. We maybe want to skip this one. I don't know.
Which one is it?
The one about the ward boss being an anti-Semite on tape.
Yeah. Well, we're gone kind of long, so people can find it in the show notes.
Yeah, but we got we can talk about the next one is something we can probably talk about. So I'll see if I'll bring that.
Oh yes, this one, the one in every 5 child educators. Jerry, would you like to take command of the show?
I'd love to. The thing is, if I open my text edit to get this link, I'm afraid that suddenly everything's going to fuck up again.
All right. Well, then
hold on. I can bring it up. Just give me
a second.
Bring it up.
I'm going to see if I can open up the link on this end. It's the only thing I have open is my Chrome and my camera, so that my CPU wasn't getting sucked up.
Okay. All right, 1 in 5 early childhood educators in Illinois live in poverty, a new report finds. This is from WBEZ Chicago, from Esther Yoon G. Kang.
Oh my God. No, this is not right.
A grassroots coalition of parents, teachers, and child care providers on Tuesday released a report on what it calls a crisis in Illinois child care system. The Illinois Child Care for All Coalition, which includes the Service Employees International Union, the SEIU, Healthcare Illinois, Chicago Teachers Union, several other organizations, centers report that child care in Illinois is unavailable, unaffordable, and unsustainable. These problems arise from the current market-based childcare system in which parents and workers shoulder the high cost of care in the form of hefty enrollment fees and low wages, reads the report titled Child Care in Illinois, Parents Can't Afford to Pay, Workers Can't Afford to Stay. According to the document, a family with more than one child could spend between $20,000 and $50,000 a year on child care. In addition, the report states that in Illinois, 58% of the population lives in an area where there aren't enough nearby child care providers to care for the local population of children. From 2012 to 2019 in Illinois, licensed family child care capacity declined 20%, and the number of licensed exempt family child care homes declined by 65%, a number only exacerbated by the pandemic. The report also said nearly 20% of early educators in Illinois live in poverty, with many making the equivalent of less than half of minimum wage. Guys, we're not surprised by this kind of stuff.
Hey, Sleepy Joe, why don't you tell people to spend COVID relief funds on paying our educators?
Or just paying everybody. I mean,
yeah, I know, Ed. It's
ridiculous.
No, I know.
So,
everywhere we turn, more money for the cops. We have teachers in poverty. We have people who are going to have their water turned off. All the while, it's like it's the fall of Rome. It's the fall of ancient Rome all over again. Bread and circuses everywhere.
Jerry, I cannot recommend to you enough. Did you ever get a chance to see the Fall of Civilization podcast when I sent you on Byzantium?
A long time ago, I did.
Oh, you did? What'd you think of it?
I ended up watching it. Yeah.
Oh, you did? You ended up watching it?
It was long, but it was. I mean, how does Daniel say it? The more things change, the more they rhyme, or things don't. I mean,
history doesn't repeat itself, but it sure does rhyme.
Yeah.
It was interesting because they first talked about the fall of Rome, the Western Empire, and then how Byzantium rose, and then how it fell, and then how the Byzantine emperors, they sold all the royal jewelry, they sold everything that made what was once Roman, and what remained of the Byzantium crown was none other than a cheap iron crown that was absolutely
had nothing in
worthless. Yeah, it had nothing in it. It was absolutely worthless, and all what remained of that great empire was the city of Constantinople, which was even a shell of its former self too.
There's something about this story though too, Kit, that speaks to every idiot out there that complains that teachers make too much money or that they shouldn't get their pensions. When you see that this many educators are practically living in poverty, right? And everybody's complaining the teachers aren't doing enough. Nobody wants to pay teachers to begin with for what literally equals babysitting services during the day. Right?
And the other problem is that a lot of people just have distorted perspectives on what salaries are supposed to be.
Yeah.
Just because for decades we've been told, oh well, this is a good starting wage. Meanwhile, what's it been 30 plus years and the federal minimum wage hasn't even budged?
The cost of living, the minimum wage has not risen with the cost of living. That's what it comes down to. And whenever I hear people talking about, why do you want to pay somebody flipping burgers $15 an hour? It's like, well, how much did we see these essential workers during the pandemic when grocery stores were closed? And
there's also a disconnect because it's like, well, you still want these jobs to exist, right? You still want somebody to make that burger, but you have it in your head that a job making burgers is a quote unquote unskilled job that doesn't deserve to make the same amount of money as somebody else. And the reality is a living wage job should be a thriving wage job for everybody. That means that, had the actual minimum wage kept up with inflation and the cost of living, it would be somewhere north of $25 an hour. We don't know exactly where, but that's about where. And so when people say things like fight for 15, I say fight for 15 wasn't enough 10 years ago. And you should be fighting for 40 and then maybe settle for 30. And people think I'm crazy when I say that.
There is no more settling. No more settling for nothing.
Well, obviously you don't tell the politicians that. You don't tell the people setting the federal wage that. You say, look, we need 40 an hour. You make that happen. Or
the thing is, too, Ed, Americans have been conditioned to pass judgment on those in what they consider unskilled labor jobs when these are essential jobs. We've been conditioned that to make a lot of money, you got to go to college, you have to have connections. All these other jobs mean you're literally like subhuman. And to a certain degree, it's kind of psychotic the way that Americans have been conditioned to look at other Americans this way. Why wouldn't you want to support other Americans? Why wouldn't you want to elevate other Americans, slicing them to something else because you feel you're better because you make more money, or they don't deserve to make what you make. When, as you just said,
So
every workers like what we've been conditioned to believe.
Yeah, and of course
It's the haves versus the have-nots, as Ilharner says in the chat.
Yeah, and Kathy Powers brings up a good point too. She says, "I almost lost my Medicaid because of the Social Security cost of living increase," and that's another problem. Is that that whoever in government is basing these living wage or wage metrics that tells you what the poverty level is, they need to double that number. Because what happens is people may get a part-time job, and then when they previously were unemployed, they qualified for SNAP benefits to get food assistance, which, by the way, all you can buy is food with SNAP benefits, and it doesn't cost anyone else a cent. It's federally funded. It doesn't come out of your tax dollars. It's just money that Congress has appropriated from the Treasury. It doesn't mess with inflation. It actually helps the economy for people on the lower end to have money to spend on groceries at grocery stores. Helps keep your grocery stores afloat as well. So, I mean, to have these poverty levels set at a rate where you are only making a certain amount of money and then you lose those benefits, it doesn't help people. It hurts people who need help the most. So if you're in Congress and listening to this, if you're in any kind of government and listening to this and able to talk to your congressman in a way that us regular people can't, tell them the levels that they're using, those metrics, the numbers that they're using to base like financial aid and those types of social programs on, those numbers are too low. They need to come up.
Yeah. We're hurting ourselves in the long run, because think about how we're making the job of teacher in America so unappealing too. Who would want to take up the mantle or responsibility after how public schools have been screwed over and how education is now becoming privatized? Who has the access to the most resources? Either it's religious schools or private charter schools or other private schools in general, who have access to billionaires and, of course, city funds as well, which go to these schools. But again, no one really wants to talk too much about that. But public schools are being shut down, and then students lack the ability to compete not only with students who go to private schools, but also worldwide too. And it's really telling how we view the upcoming generation that's going to follow us.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Yeah, I mean, both well said from both of you. I'm worried about like interjecting anything because I'm waiting for my browser to crash again.
Yeah, we get a little buffering from you on your end, Jerry, but we'll keep it together as long as we can.
Okay.
Yeah, Miguel H says, Kathy Powers, 100%. Time is the most precious resource we all have. We are kind of running out of time. I mean, obviously, we don't have to get into global warming, climate change, but the truth is, you guys got to hassle your Congress people about that stuff. They think they got all time in the world, or they think that they've got their escape yacht that's going to survive the giant flood that's coming. But that's getting off onto another tangent here.
Beverly Hills is not a strategic location to set up your base. And also, same thing too with the Hamptons. Hamptons, not a real strategic location for the rich. So there we go.
Yeah. Here we get our friend Dominic from independentvoterparty.org says, our lowest wage earners outnumber our corporate CEOs and wealthy political party donors by thousands to one. They just need to learn how to use their political power on election day. Yeah. Or before election day. You got to let them know that you're willing to not vote for them. These people think that they deserve your vote. They think that you owe them your vote. You don't owe your vote to anybody. these parties need to earn your vote. These candidates need to earn your vote.
Yeah.
Don't let anyone voter shame you on any election day. These people need to represent us, not the corporations, not the big wigs, not the billionaires, not the millionaires. They need to represent us.
Mm-hmm. So there you go.
Kathy Powers wants to see Leprechaun. I'll see if I can find that a little bit later. But in the meantime, it's just us two schlubs until Jerry can fight the leprechaun that's invaded his machine.
Yes, there you go. An evil leprechaun. There you go.
But here we are. I don't know. Should I finish this story or should we move on to the next one?
We should move on to the final story of the day.
Okay, let's do that.
Some great things to do in Chicago. And by the way, be sure to get yourself a flavor-improving mug from...
yes, let's do that right now.
Let's do that.
Little promo. Chicago Corner is brought to you by Flavor-Improving Mugs. The mugs that improve flavor. Do you have a mug that doesn't improve flavor? Well, what are you doing with that mug when you could have this mug from the Redbubble shop? Go to the link in the show notes below, or go to 99perspectives.tv and click on the link for Flavor Improving Mugs. The mugs that improve flavor.
Did I
drag that out long enough?
If you don't got it, get it. If you don't get it, go figure it out.
Exactly.
All right. Let's move on to the final story of the day. And Illinois says the 1996 Telecommunications Act is what killed critical thinking in America, because that's what gave rise to, of course, our wonderful corporate media that spews its neoliberal BS into the minds of Americans since 1996. Thank Bill Clinton and his neoliberal Democratic Party and his presidential administration for bringing forth this nightmare disaster of corporate media that we know today.
Right. We were going to the last story, wasn't it? Let me share the final story here.
The final story of the day.
Yes. Here it is. From Time Out Chicago. The 60 best things to do in Chicago right now. Edited by Emma Kropp. Written by Tim Lowry, Zach Long, and Jay Gentile.
So there's a lot to do here. Well, there's time.
They're talking about blah, blah, blah. Weather's getting warmer, blah, blah, blah. Rooftop bars, brunches, Memorial Day, all that other stuff. Festivals.
So if there's 60 things to do here, there is the Art Institute of Chicago.
Yeah, that's always cool. You know, I always like to go down to the one section where they have the armory with all the medieval weapons.
Oh, I love that spot.
Those are badass.
Yes, I call it the war room. That's what I call it. Yeah. I don't call it the armor room or knights. I call it the war room.
Yeah, they do also have some really cool paintings, and occasionally there will be some exhibits with let's see. This month they got the Paul Cézanne retrospective. He's an impressionist painter. That'll be good. That one famous painting from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, they got that there at the Art Institute.
Yes, and
that's pretty
there's
cool.
significance to that painting because it shows that the average working person can enjoy the park and be at peace and enjoy a day off, just like the rich.
I'm trying to remember. I think most of the museums, including the Art Institute, have discounts for Chicago residents. So sometimes it's even free, depending on the day of the week. You'd have to check out Lugal and find the Art Institute's website to find out their schedule. But it's fairly affordable to attend a lot of these museums. And then of course. What I like to do is when, and I don't know if the Art Institute still has them. They might have. Remember those Mold-A-Rama machines, where it's like hot molded plastic, and they get these little statues from the different museums. You kind of have to hunt down, like there might be one of the lions. I could be wrong about that, but then you go like the different museums have in different locations little plastic statues that you can get that they're like collectibles. Some of the people in the chat know what I'm talking about. I should pull up. Actually, you know what? If we can take a detour, let me see if I can pull up some pictures.
Okay, let's
the Moldoramas.
So while Edward is trying to pull up those pictures, you could also enjoy the Garfield Park Conservatory. Tap your toes to the late night jazz at the Green Mill. You could check out the giant Lego sculptures at the Museum of Science and Industry. I like the U-boat, the German U-boat that they have there. That's pretty cool. You grab a cocktail under the glowing red lights of the California Clipper. You could catch opening weekend for the Chicago beaches. Don't swim in the lake; it's polluted.
Oh, let's
there
see.
You go.
Let's see if they got a list at
Watch
the Moldorama website.
Outdoor movies at Wrigley Field. There we go. You can hang out with the mummy at the Field Museum and also check out the dinosaurs as well, like Sue, the T-Rex, and all the other dinosaurs that are there too. So there you go.
Okay, so Motorama, they got some of these at the Brookfield Zoo. It says the holiday molds have been removed, but they give updates on even in other cities they have Moldoramas, like San Antonio's got some. There's a brown bear at Brookfield, or there was. Oh, they replaced the brown bear with a kangaroo at Brookfield Zoo. So if you guys dig the kangaroo Moldorama, that one's back in the machine. Which means if you want the bear, you probably have to go on eBay or wait until they bring it back. But you just see these things; they look like they're really cool, and it's a distinctive smell that these things put out. It's like a molded, warm plastic smell that you'll never forget. Oh, that's pretty cool. You got the Frankenstein monster. San Antonio Zoo got those. Okay, but let's go back to the 60 things in Chicago, because I got off on a tangent, which are things that usually are caused. I'm going to blame it on ghost cows. But okay, so Garfield Park Conservatory, you see some really cool plants.
Yeah, I already mentioned that, but you can also check out the Putt Around Pixar-themed mini golf course. You can make a pit stop at the Chicago Cultural Center.
Ooh, Legos at Museum of Science and Industry.
The
California Clippers open again. That's a nice little bar in Humboldt Park. I think Chance the Snapper used to hang out there.
Mm-hmm. You can hop aboard Chicago's First Lady for architecture tour. You can see a stellar play at the Steppenwolf Theater. Wonderful. That's pretty cool. You could get lost inside the latest immersive art show. That's pretty good stuff there. You can get acquainted with Frank Lloyd Wright's architecture at the Robbie House. I was there not once but twice. Get high. There we go. No, get high at 360 Chicago, also known as John Hancock Building. Not 360 Chicago. No.
Yeah, they got the observatory there, and then if you want, they also got on the 95th floor. They got a bar. You can order yourself up a sidecar and check out the city from way up high.
We were there once before the whole world went crazy. Lainey, myself, and Daniel step into a comic book at the 2D restaurant.
Ooh, let me see that thing. Let's see if we can get a bigger picture of that. Ooh, yeah. Is this not working? It's not sharing my screen. Okay, hold on a second.
But get high at 360 Chicago. Or get high at 360 Chicago.
Window. Share window. Aha. There we go. That's pretty cool. It's like the chairs are like painted like... Well, everything is painted like it's a comic book.
Yep.
That's awesome.
This is pretty cool.
All right. Oh, we get the empty bottle is still in business. That's good news.
Mm-hmm.
So you can catch some bands there. Local bands are always fun to see at that place. Little tiny little dive.
You can get a nice
I say that
succulent
with
meal
affection when I
in
call it a
Chinatown.
dive.
You can get a nice succulent meal in Chinatown, which is
Yes,
great.
Chinatown's great. You guys should definitely go to Chinatown to support the local businesses there. There's a lot of places you can get some, like Kit says, succulent meals.
A nice
And
succulent Chinese meal.
yeah, if you haven't really tried Chinese food, Chinatown is a great place to go. They have so many vendors out there that have their own style. Some of it's like passed down family recipes of the different things that they have, like the steamed buns and the pot stickers and the egg rolls and all the different foods that they have there. It's a nice experience, you know. I mean, you could go to the sit down restaurants. They also have like little like a food court kind of thing you can do, where they have, you know, every vendor has like a little tiny box kitchen where they're making up their family's classic recipes, and it's really impressive and a great experience if you have a chance to go.
Mm-hmm.
What do we got? Smart Bar is around, so
Watch the show at the
dancing.
Hideout. You check that out.
Hideout is a great place to go.
Mm-hmm. What else we got here? We got walk through an outdoor art gallery. At
That's 16th Street. Okay, yeah.
Oh, this one's my favorite right here. Here
Kingston
Lies
Mines?
Blues at Blues Kingston Mines. I've
Oh,
been
yeah.
there numerous times. That place is great, and they serve Southern Cajun food there. If you want a place to party it up, get drunk, dance, and eat some good food, I cannot recommend Blues Kingston Mines. We are not sponsored by Blues Kingston Mines, but my God, they got some good stuff there.
Yeah, that's a great place to go. They have in the back, and some people don't even realize it's there. There's this little tiny kitchen in the back of Kingston Mines, and there's one guy there, and you go up and you can order whatever he's got on the menu. And yeah, it's New Orleans style, so you get some great blues music. You can always go to their website and find out who's playing and when. But you always have a good time at Kingston Mines.
Yeah, so there we go.
Tour the work of Ludwig Mies van der Rohe at the Illinois Institute of Technology. And speaking of Mies van der Rohe, I believe that's the name of the street where the Museum of Contemporary Art is, down in Streeterville in Chicago. So if you want to see some of the modern art, you want to head over to, I believe it's off of near Chicago and Mies van der Rohe.
Yeah.
And that's a good time. Gallery District on Chicago Avenue. Yeah. Okay. So there's some art galleries around the city. You know, if you're not getting enough art from all the other places where there's art,
you could explore the Gallery District on Chicago Avenue. That's cool.
There's places to bike.
Check out Lincoln Park Zoo. You can visit the zoo for free. So that's pretty awesome right there. Check out the animals.
Yeah, they used to have. I think they used to have concerts there. I don't know if they still do.
I think so. Hey, let's face it. It's somewhere in the city. I think you still can. You can see all the wonderful animals there. I like seeing the alligators though. No relation to Chance the Snapper, who I say should be returned back to Chicago.
Yeah, I don't know if the residents of Humboldt Park would really down with that, but you know, maybe we could build like a really strong aquarium. There's room in the studio, right?
I think so. I think we can get Chance a nice little place in the studio. Little says, I want to see an intoxicated Kit sing Sweet Home, Chicago. Somebody saw the leprechaun there. So there we go. Go back in time and see the historic Pullman Foundation exhibit hall. That sounds fun to do. And have a PBR PAX Blue Ribbon at Rainbow Club. There you go.
Oh yeah, Rainbow's a nice little club too. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, there's so many tiny little bars in the city. I don't know how many of them are still open. But I'm glad to see some of the ones in this list that are. Definitely support your local businesses when you're in Chicago, or heading downtown. If you have time on the weekends or if you have your evenings off, and if you can afford to throw a little money back into the community and small businesses, it's definitely worth keeping some of these places alive.
I've been here. Travel across an elevated trail on the 606. I have been on this trail numerous times with friends, family, significant others as well. So I recommend it a lot. It's a lot of fun. You can see it, a nice little area of Chicago, but also located at the edge of Pilsen in Chinatown is the 88 Marketplace, which is a multi-level Chinese grocery store stocked with all kinds of imported food and beverages. So there we go. You get that.
This another. Yeah, there's a place like this in Chinatown as well. But yeah, definitely this wow, this looks like a field trip opportunity for us, Kit. We need to do this.
Well, I am down for that, so I'm going to consider that. Scarf down a Chicago-style hot diggity dog at Super Dog Drive-In. So it's a 40-era drive-in that still sends uniform services to your car, delivering hot burgers, hot dogs, burgers, milkshakes, and more fast food delights. There you go. Now, Edward, I think you're going to like this one. See public art at Millennium Park. There's the bean.
Public art in Millennium Park.
Where's the other bean?
Did somebody say bean?
No.
I was just thinking about that. Like I need all the TIF money so I can put a bean on top of the other bean. And if that doesn't happen, I'm perfectly fine with us just doing the 3 at the Triple Bean Casino, coming soon to a city near you.
Lightfoot, go away. Go away. Now, it's the Rona Destroyer. Here we go. Hi, Lightfoot. So, watch fish swim by at the Shed Aquarium. That seems fun. I've been to Shed Aquarium a few times. Seeing the little beluga whales, the dolphins, the sharks, the squids, the octopus. Take a skyline from Palm Tree Point. That looks good. Have your mind blown at the Chicago Magic Lounge.
There's a whole lounge for magic now?
I guess so. So, Edward, get your magic hat. Your skills are required to represent us in battle.
After 3 years of performances at Uptown Underground, the Chicago Magic Lounge's brick-and-mortar manifestation. Let me try that one more time. Manifestation opened in early 2018. The spot sports 3 performance spaces. There's the front bar where you can enjoy a drink and some sleight of hand. Then there's the 120-seat Blackstone Cabaret main stage where ticketed shows take place, as well as smaller back room dubbed the 654 Club offers up close magic. That was my announcer voice. Was that okay?
No, that's fine. Perfect.
Okay, cool. I got to practice.
There you go.
Half Acre Brewery on Balmoral. Oh, that's good.
All right.
I bet the beer's nice and fresh when you're drinking it at the brewery.
Right off the factory belt.
The Neo Futurarium is back too.
Really?
which I believe is, are they still in that one building that used to be a funeral home? Was it the Nelson Funeral Home up there? Where
Uh,
is it? Where are they located? I think that's where in Uptown. Yeah. Yeah, they used to have a show called, what was it called? Too Much Light Makes the Baby Go Blind was the name of their comedy show, but I don't think they do that one anymore. Looks like they're doing, oh, here, the show they're doing now is called Infinite Wrench. But it's basically, a whole bunch of improv people interacting with the audience. It's a good time. If I remember correctly, when you go to the Neo Futurarium to get in, you can either pay whatever the current ticket price is, or you can roll a 6-sided die to figure out what you're going to end up paying. And so sometimes it's like, if it costs $3 or $4 to get in normally, you could roll a die and either pay, $1 or $2, or you might have to pay 5 or 6. So,
okay.
little bit of gambling before you get in. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, and by the way, Cassie Powers, the shed does cost money to go into, but you can have a mesmerizing meal at Alina. So
Yeah, but like we said before, if you are a city resident, they often have discounts for residents. Sometimes you can get pretty affordable entry, and sometimes it's free depending on the day.
you know what? I think I need to find something here for the next one for the studio. Find a fun
Alinea.
toy to display on your desk at
Rotofuji.
Rotofuji.
Fuji.
So there you go. It's in Lincoln Park. It's filled with cute little.
They get those. Yeah, those vinyl figurines. Or they like they got those Funko Pop things. They're kind of like that, or they might be exactly like that. I'll have to look. Or you
could
guys
also
can
see-
look by going to the article that is hopefully in the show notes below from the timeout thing. We are past 9:00, but
Yes.
we're
So
gonna do the stream as long as we feel like doing the stream, because that's how we roll here at Chicago
Yes.
Corner. Although we might be wrapping it up shortly.
Yeah, we could be wrapping up just a little bit. So I could storm through some of these. You could laugh it over at Second City. You can worship the beer gods and drink all the brews at the beer temple. So there
Your
you go.
temple's good. That's over by me. We could
All
go
right, well,
there.
see, I got to go there. I've never been to the beer temple. I lived in the city
Okay.
my whole life. I haven't gone there. Pig
Ooh,
out
carnitas in
at the
Pilsen.
pork tacos. There you go. Get some of those pork tacos. Devour thin crust at
Vito Nix. Yes, Vito and Nix is good. I had a good pizza yesterday for Pizza de Mayo, which is
There
a
you go.
holiday I made up, which is a week after Cinco de Mayo, where you basically have pizza and margaritas. I figure, well, that's a good combo, and it's an excuse to have pizza. And you call it Pizza de Mayo.
You could booze out at Old Town Ale House, of course, and see Yoko Ono's installation in Jackson Park. You can add to your reading list at Pilsen Community Books. Be sure to check out and support Pilsen. Pilsen has been hit hard with gentrification, so see Pilsen before it's fully destroyed by gentrification. Find something strange at Woolly Mammoth's Antiques and Oddities. I've been there before. Get your licks at the original Rainbow Cone.
Rainbow Cone. Rainbow Cone. They also do. They have an ice cream truck that they bring out to places too. So you check out their Twitter or Facebook accounts and see. Sometimes they'll tell you if they're going to be somewhere that isn't in the original location. I know they also sell on. They got one on Navy Pier as well. Rainbow Cone is great. What were the flavors on Rainbow?
Wrigley Field, though?
What were the Rainbow Cone flavors, Kit? It was an orange sherbet, and was it chocolate and strawberry, and is that mint chocolate chip, and a flavor called Palmer House, which is vanilla with maraschino cherries and walnuts, I think. Although the actual recipe is still a bit of a secret. Oh no, it's not. It's not mint chocolate chip. It's pistachio. That's right. Yeah, that's like you get all those flavors on one cone. That's pretty awesome.
Okay, let's move on. We got
there's yeah. I like how you skipped Wrigley Field, didn't you?
No, yeah. I did mention Wrigley Field just a little bit, but then you can also go to White Sox Park. White Sox Park, not guaranteed rate field.
We call it Comiskey, even though it ain't Comiskey no more.
Yes, so there we go. White Sox Park.
You can have fun at either of the ballparks. They got if you can afford a ticket, that is. But the food's great. The environment's pretty good when the weather's nice. I know on the south side at Sox Park, when players hit a home run, you get the fireworks. So on the weekend, sometimes they do fireworks nights. That's a fun time. On the north side, you got the Cubs bleachers. You got all those wonderful hot dogs and beers. You got you get to sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." That's it's a good time at either of those locations.
That's right.
Cinematic history at Doc Films.
There you go. You can also going forward from there, you could find some new records at Dusty Grove.
Dusty Groove.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got that.
Yeah, it's wrong. The lines in the record that separate the songs are called grooves.
I know I said Grove. I screwed that up.
Some of you don't know what like how records work because you grew up in the land of MP3s and streaming music.
Streaming music, people have been spoiled. I know about the records.
And then some of you just remember CDs. Remember CDs? Those shiny metal plastic discs, and then cassette tapes. Remember cassette tapes?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you sometimes the tape inside would come loose, and you'd have to take a pencil into the spool and to wind it back up. People are going, "What the heck is he talking about?"
That's right. Where else can you go? You can get your mind blown.
Music Box Theater, they show movies.
There you go.
You got, you got to go and get the smoked seafood from Calumet Fisheries if you get a chance.
You can set a high score at Logan Arcade. There you go.
Video games and pinball, that's always fun. And now they combine that with alcohol.
You can have your mind blown at the Museum of Illusions.
Which,
get a taste.
Illusions.
Yeah, this one I think you might like, Edward. Next one coming up. Get a taste for goat.
Ooh, goat. Yes, there was actually, I'm trying to remember, there was a place, I think it's called Angelo's, that makes stuffed pizza with birria. Like a goat stuffed pizza. I've been wanting to try that. We'll have to try it sometime.
There we go. Let's see. You can also
Al's
go to
Beef.
Al's Italian Beef. All right, so ignore Portello's for a minute. Big Al's Italian Beef. That's where it's at.
So yeah, so you got the Italian beef, and then you got the dipped with the giardiniera. Do you want peppers on that, Mr. Cabello?
I want sweet peppers. I want it dipped, and I want mozzarella cheese.
Okay, and mozzarella is more of a cheesy beef at Portillo's thing.
Oh, I mean,
but we could do it if you want. The garlic bread, however, is a nice little combo to do there. And of course, we strain them into the Chicago, which is the new canned water for Chicago.
Yeah.
So that you get, your water needs to have that wonderful Italian beefy flavor. Mm-hmm. And of course, Lightfoot's going to get mad at me for saying that. Stop telling everybody, she says. Stop telling everybody that we got beefy flavored water in our Chicago. That's not what it is. Says
we also got spend an afternoon along the river at the Metropolitan Brewing.
Yes,
and
more beer.
Finally, last
Finally.
one. Scarf a tasty burger at
Ashaval.
Sorry, it's a little late here, folks. But we went through all 60 of them. So
yeah, so he does the Ashaval. I've seen them make. I haven't actually been there, and they have a another restaurant. I think it's called Little Cheval or something, where they basically just sell the burgers. So there's like 2 places in the city you can get these burgers. Like they make their own pickles. They're grinding their own beef. I think it's like 2 patties. They use American cheese because, it's an American cheese kind of burger. Looks like the photo they got there, they got an egg on it. That may be optional depending on how messy you want to get. But, can't hurt to put an egg on a cheeseburger. I mean, you're already eating a cheeseburger.
Well, sounds
so
pretty,
yeah, I wasn't
good.
actually expecting us to go through all 60 of them, but I am happy we did, Mr. Cabello.
We did it. We went through them all.
We did it. I know Jerry had some technical problems this evening, but hopefully we will find a way to exercise those gremlins out of there. I don't think it was a computer. I don't think it was a. What was I trying to say?
Well, no matter what it is, Jerry Vasilatos will be able to fix his computer.
Yeah, he should be able to do it.
Fuck this noise, man!
You're such a disappointing pair. I prayed so hard for you. It saddens and hurts me that the 2 young men whom I raised to believe in the 10 Commandments have returned to me with filthy mouths and bad attitudes. Get out and don't come back until you've redeemed yourselves.
So with that said,
with that being said, folks, we're going to be wrapping things up. Lightfoot, get out of the way. With that being said, folks, I want to thank Edward for joining me for being a co-host. I had to become the captain for the show for a little bit. So there we go. Shout out to our moderators keeping the peace. Shout out to our entire audience for supporting us. Jerry will be fixing his computer shortly, hopefully sooner, and it'll all be set up. And again, Chicago Corner is live every Tuesday and Friday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time here on YouTube. And be sure to check out Chicago Corner on Can TV. Once I submit these 2 videos, which I have to do after the show, I will let everyone know when they will premiere on Can TV. So if you live in the Chicagoland area, you can watch not 1, but 2 exclusive video content on television. That's right. Chicago Corner is going on TV. So you can't stop us now. So there we go. Shout out to everyone in the chat that stayed with us. Please be safe out there, especially to my residents who live in the city of Chicago. Be safe. Keep your head on a swivel, and let's help each other out. Take good care of each other, and have a safe weekend. Goodbye, folks.